This is one of the biggest and tallest buildings in the world. But you've probably never heard of it.
Makkah Royal Clock Tower, on which the world's largest alligator and gold-plated crescent is installed. When the construction of this tower was going on, the Saudi king had ordered that a glass panel be installed on the top of the tower, which would look like a very big diamond when seen from a distance, and on top of this diamond would be the world's largest crescent, that too 24-karat gold-plated. Now only one company in the world could do this work, the famous German company Riva GmbH. But here, apart from making the diamond-like panel or applying a layer of gold on the crescent, there was a bigger issue, and that was that the engineers of the Riva company and its owner were non-Muslims, and you all know that entry in Mecca is given only to Muslims. Riva company had taken this project, but the Saudi government has a strict law that only Muslims will be given entry to do physical work on the site. What solution was found to this issue? How did the world's largest alligator and crescent weighing as much as 2 passenger buses reach a height of 600 meters on the Makkah Royal Clock Tower? He was taken to a place where there were lakhs of people below all the time. This was probably the first and the last building in history whose architect could not even see the building closely till the end. Once again, the audience was delighted. In the videos of Discover the Heights, Makkah Royal Clock Tower is one of the tallest buildings in the world. This tower, touching the height of 601 meters, is no less than an engineering miracle. It is identified by the world's largest clock installed on it, which is 43 meters big from each side. And if we talk about the area, then the clock on just one side is spread over 100 to 16,000 square feet. That is, just one clock is as big as 35 plots of 500 yards. Makkah Royal Clock Tower, built at a cost of $16 billion, is the most expensive among all the skyscrapers built in the world till date. This is the only building in the world where the highest floor inhabited by humans is present inside this crescent. Although today it is the 4th tallest building in the world, but at the time when its construction started, it was going to be the world's tallest building. But when the plan of its 600-meter height was leaked, Dubai made the record by increasing the height of Burj Khalifa further. This tower is one of the complex ones, which has been built at a distance of just 300 meters from the world's largest mosque, Al Haram. But do you know that before 2002, there was a mosque at the same place? But there used to be the fort of Ajad. This fort was built in the era of Ottoman Empire in the year 1780 for the protection of Kaaba. Mecca is a holy city of Saudi Arabia, where millions of Muslims from all over the world come to perform Hajj. But apart from the month of Hajj, Masjid al-Haram is crowded 24 hours a day. Religious tourism is the second biggest source of income for Saudi Arabia, which adds $12 billion to the government treasury every year. This is the reason why the maximum number of hotel rooms are found in the city of Mecca. Dubai is at second place, with 4,000 rooms, around 25,000, while Las Vegas is at third place, with 1,000 rooms. In view of the increasing demand and to reduce the difficulties of the pilgrims, King Abdulaziz had to fulfill the demand of complex rooms here by demolishing the fort of Ajad. But later, it was thought that one of these towers should not only be a hotel but should be more than that. So an idea was floated that why not make a tower so high that it can also work as a minaret of a mosque? But the issue was that when the height of this tower was planned to be only 450 meters, the engineers had made its foundation accordingly. And when the 450-meter structure was built, later it was decided to take it up to 600 meters. If more load is put on this foundation, it will be like inviting danger. Just when the issue was being resolved, another demand came from Saudi King Abdulaziz. He wanted to put not just a minaret, but also the world's largest clock on it, on top of which there will be a very big diamond and a gold-plated crescent on the top. To meet these demands, the engineers had to take a second look at the foundation of the tower. The result was that the weight of the upper 150-meter part should not be more than 36,000 tons. Keeping these calculations in mind, the engineers and designers had to design a 150-meter high lightweight steel structure. which will not be less strong than concrete, which will later be placed on top of the concrete tower. This structure has been designed in such a way that it distributes all its load equally on top of the concrete tower, and then the world's largest clock and crescent will be placed around this structure. This steel structure will no doubt take the height of the clock tower to 600 meters, but to keep it as light as possible, the floors built inside the structure have been lower than the normal floor height. These were made higher, and the center of the floors was kept hollow. This way the quantity of steel was less, and thus its weight was also reduced. Today artwork is seen hanging in this hollow space inside the clock tower, but actually these hollow floors were made to reduce the weight of the building. After making the structure, now it was the turn to make the world's largest clock. To carry out this work, a German company named Parrot was selected, which had 165 years of experience in this work. Making the world's largest clock at a height of 450 meters and operating it is not an easy task. How big will the hands of this clock be? How will they have to be protected in strong winds? And how will this clock work at such a height? These were all the things which were very important to take care of. The biggest challenge in all this was the thorns of this clock. They had to be designed in such a way that they do not get uprooted in strong winds. The larger thorn of this clock was to be 23 meters long, while the smaller thorn was to be 17 meters long. Understand it like this, that the large thorns, if it is made to stand straight, it can compete with a 5-story building in height. At a height of 600 meters, the winds can blow faster than 200 km/h, which can easily uproot this thorn. And on top of that, there will be separate crocodiles on all 4 sides of the tower, which can increase this danger even more. Initially, it was thought that the tip of these giant thorns will be connected to a rail-like ring. But because there will be a lot of moving parts in this railing, the danger was also expressed that it will increase the maintenance of the clock. Finally, it was decided to make the crocodile thorns from special carbon fiber material, because carbon fiber is a lightweight material, but it is stronger than steel. The compression strength of steel, i.e. the ability to withstand pressure, is high and it can bend when pressure is applied, but carbon fiber does not bend when pressure is applied. Apart from this, there is also a risk of rusting in steel, whereas carbon fiber is completely rust-proof. For the Mecca clock tower, not 4 but 5 thorns have been made. A spare set was also made and kept in it. Just 1 fork was loaded in each trailer, and it was taken to the Mecca clock tower. These forks are so big that one can easily move inside it. There are separate motors for running the 4 clocks of the clock tower, which are called clock drives. But here also an extra clock drive has already been installed in the clock tower, so that in case of any problem, it can be replaced immediately. A maintenance switch has also been installed in this gadi, on pressing which the thorns become completely straight and maintenance workers can go inside it. A lot of research was also done to select the color of this gadi. Initially it was decided that it would be painted black and white, but after doing many experiments it came to light that the time is visible correctly during the day, but at night the white LED lights are not creating a sharp image in the eyes. After changing different colors, finally green color LED lights were selected. Now even at night, the time is visible correctly even from a distance of 8 kilometers. Amazingly, a total of 20 lakh LED lights have been installed on this clock tower. Each LED is installed at a distance of 4 inches from each other, which appears as a single very big light to the viewer. These 20 lakh LEDs were also specially made keeping in mind the hot weather of Mecca, which took more than a year. Now it was the turn of the most difficult but beautiful work of the Mecca clock tower. A crescent was to be installed on the top of the building, which was most important to increase the height of the tower to 600 meters. This crescent is 75 feet high and equally wide. To keep it lightweight, it was made by mixing fiberglass and carbon fiber, but still its total weight is around 35 tons. The responsibility of making the diamond-like structure on the crescent and the crocodile was given to the German company Riva. The finishing work of the upper 150 meters was to be done by this company, and this is such a work for which it was very important for the German engineers to come to the holy city of Mecca, but because only Muslims are allowed entry in Mecca, that is why some engineers and the owner of Riva had to change their religion and become Muslims, just to work on the Mecca Royal Clock Tower. Yes, to make the world's largest clock, the engineers who did not want to change their religion made the crocodile while staying in Dubai, and then later transported it to Mecca. The most special thing is that there would be a layer of gold on every corner of the crescent, so this crescent was made in one piece. If it was taken to the top and then installing it, there would not just be difficult but impossible, because due to the crowd and lack of space, only tower cranes can work here, but even they cannot lift so much weight at once. That is why it was decided to make it in different parts. To apply a layer of gold on its surface, about 10 crore pieces of mosaic tiles were pasted on, which a layer of gold was coated on each part. Mosaic tiles were made meticulously, and then they were cut into 2 2-centimeter blocks. This entire crescent was also prepared in Dubai, and then after giving the final touches, it was sent to Mecca. The demo version of the clock was also first installed at a location in Dubai, because some engineers of the German company, who had not changed their religion, wanted to install it first and see if there was any flaw. It was sent to Mecca only after fixing all the issues. The installation of the crescent at a height of 600 meters was also a big challenge, because the tower crane cannot lift such a high load at such a high height. This crescent was pulled up in 4 different parts, and one part weighed about 4 tons. This was a very dangerous task for the engineers and workers, because firstly, the tower crane could not lift much weight due to being at such a high height, and secondly, if a strong wind starts blowing during this process, then due to the pendulum effect, the weight of 4 tons can also double. Then what was feared happened just at the time when a part of the crescent was in the air. Suddenly the wind started blowing, and finally some workers it was prevented from moving by holding it with ropes, and then it was fixed by bringing it into position. This crescent has a total of 3 floors, an office, a meeting room, and a mosque, which is the world's tallest mosque on a man-made structure. Today, it is also the highest inhabited floor by humans on a recent man-made structure. The highest occupied floor of Burj Khalifa is at 585 meters, and that of Shanghai Tower is 583 meters. The construction of the Makkah Royal Clock Tower began in 2002 and was completed in 2011 after lasting for 9 years. During its peak time, 20,000 workers used to work on it simultaneously. It is connected to the entire complex, which makes it one of the world's most accurate clocks. The clock tower is illuminated by 20 lakh LEDs at night, which can be seen up to 25 kilometers away. Gunther Nell, who was the architect of the clock tower and designed the entire building, could never see it closely. Finally, when the tower was completed, he saw the clock in the territory of Mecca. While I was outside, I saw this from a distance and turned the car back. I hope you all will like and share this video of Discover the Hides. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next amazing video.